Has AMD actually done the impossible? Or are we going to see another fake MSRP listing on their end, and we're going to start seeing partner cards go upwards to that $1,000 price, if not $1,100 price for that 9070 XT when it's supposed to be just under $600? Let's get to today's video. All right, guys, so what an exciting Friday morning and a way to end the month. AMD has hopefully come in and rescued us all enthusiasts and gamers, right? I think the biggest thing that I could take away from this is not just the price that we were wanting to see, right? They could have been a little bit more aggressive. I honestly think it's quite aggressive already, and they did do a slide where they compared it to the 5070 Ti in that keynote, which I'll leave a link to onto their YouTube page so you guys can rewatch it if you'd like to, or whatever link I have down below for that. So, and again, any of the articles and stuff like that will be down below in the description for you guys to do your deep dive. So today, AMD officially launched their 9070 series powered by RDNA 4, right? So the 9070, you'll see, has 56 compute units, with this 9070 XT having 64. Hardware ray trace accelerators and AI accelerators, you're seeing that there in that next line below. And then, of course, you're seeing the AI tops here being looking like 1,165 tops on the 9070 and over 1,500 tops on the 9070 XT. Both being at 16 gigabytes of VRAM, which is great for that starting point, right? Versus NVIDIA. And then we have a really low TDP. And as you guys can see there on that card design, normal power connectors to power their GPU. So you don't have any melting graphics cards in your systems, right? So a lot of advanced features and a lot of things that they've added to this GPU, things that, you know, I'm sure a lot of you are more familiar with and more in tune with. So I'll leave all this stuff down below so you guys can check it out yourselves. We're going to approach the benchmark performances here that AMD claims, right, at 4K, 1440p, and things like that. And in their keynote, they talked about mostly rasterization. So without utilizing frame gen, not using those fake frames to try and draw you in and fake things like NVIDIA was doing, right? So it says here, update. AMD has presented new slides, this time including the RTX 5070 Ti graphics card, which is now 2% lower performance compared to the 5070 Ti at MSRP, and a higher performance when overclocked on the 9070 XT overclock version, right? Now, we're talking about a $150 difference there, right? And this is where it gets a little tricky. Again, it comes down to software, right? In their keynote, they talked about software so much. I don't think they've ever stressed so much about their software being so much better. And forgive me if I'm wrong, you know, it's just, I feel like they really had to sell us on their software this time around, as well as the price that they had on their GPUs, right? But this is where I'm a little worried, because again, it comes down to usability and functionality, right? If you're just strictly gaming, again, if they can actually sell us these cards, like if you can actually pick up a 9070 XT for $600 over $800 5070 Ti or $750 5070 Ti, let's say, when things normalize, right? Or even now, then it would make sense to get the 9070 XT over the 5070 Ti, because at that point, if I'm going to save $200 but my 9070 XT performs like a 4080 Super or just as close as 5070 Ti for $600, then yes, I'm going to do it, because at that point, it just makes more sense, right? And then they've also put in their keynote that they're taking more of initiative and look and support for like creatives, right? So they got encoding for AV1, H.264, 265, and things of that sort that support it, along with AI generative things. So that stuff I'm not too familiar with, but I'll leave that up to you guys if you guys think that's worth it for this GPU. But they packed a lot for $600, and I don't think they could have gone any lower than that, but I feel like they could have been a little bit more aggressive. I think they could have shifted things about $50 down, right? I think $50 down. I think that you guys would have definitely swooped Nvidia off their feet and would have given Jensen a heart attack or something. But as you guys can see, these cards are going to be available March 6th, with first reviews coming out on the 5th of March. So the same day the 5070 is supposedly supposed to come out, right, from Nvidia, but who knows? It might be delayed because they got ROPs missing, so those cards might have ROPs missing too. So let's go ahead and move on to the next article here. This one is from excuse me, from The Verge, right? They go over their deep dive a little bit, comparing other AMD releases and price points and things like that, along with Nvidia's cards. Excuse me. And then kind of talking a little bit about the same thing on their point of view, right? So I'll leave this part of the article for you guys to read on your own and things like that. And of course, this is AMD's homepage, going more over what they talked about during the keynote and everything else of that sort, right? So we have everything from the AI enhanced AMD Adrenalin software applications to your boost clocks, your specs, and the USD MSRP pricing for these cards. And they claimed that they've been shipping these cards to retailers, right? In this case, look at that. ASRock releases this design along with their Tai Chi design, and all I gotta say to you guys, this thing looks pretty sick. It looks pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I'll have that particular Tai Chi card in there, but I really wish they came out with a Founders card. I think the ASRock GPUs might be the closest thing that we can get to a Founders style, like especially this black and gray or gunmetal one. So for me personally, I think I will pick one up just for $600, you know, and it'll be my first official GPU, and I think I'm gonna pair this with the 5600G and see how that performs in that system. So if you guys want to see that video, you guys know what to do. Subscribe, and of course hit that notification bell icon, because it will be there once I get my hands on one. If they're saying supposedly that these cards are available as abundantly as they think they will be, hopefully scalpers don't get to them, and hopefully retailers have some sort of way that they've learned from the Nvidia launch, right? So that's all for today, folks. So let's see what AMD can do. Can they win? Maybe. Should they win? I believe so, 100%. I believe AMD should win at this one. I think they have the hearts of the people now. We have, you know, our eyes on them still, because now that they've passed the launch, right, the price, now we got to see how are the AIB partners or the board partners going to handle this, right? Are they going to stick to the MSRP price? If you're seeing a 9070 XT at $750 at the same time as the 5070 Ti, I'm sorry, but I'm going to stick with NVIDIA at that point if I can get a 5070 Ti at $750 versus a 9070 XT. In my opinion, right, in my opinion, $750 to $750, NVIDIA still has better software support in the things that I do, right, across both of my systems or all of my systems that I do with my workflow. That's the only thing. That's my only reason why I would stick with NVIDIA if it's at the same price point. This is why I was saying they could have been a little bit more aggressive at $50 less, but even then with myself, right, if it was $50 less, $700 for an AIB card versus $750, let's just say if you could get one for $750 for a 5070 Ti, I would still pay that extra $50 to get the software support that I'm looking for with NVIDIA. This is where I'm like, yeah, this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. So the numbers have to speak for themselves, and the availability and the stability of these new GPUs that AMD is releasing. So let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions down below. Are you guys going to buy an RDNA 4 card like I am? I know I will. Golly, man. AMD's on fire right now, baby. Let's get it. So Subscribe if you're new here, hit that notification bell icon, and of course stay tuned for some hardware testing and reviews, and I will see you guys back on Monday or Tuesday whenever I get back. So I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining in on today's video. You guys know how it is. This is Red Zone signing off, keeping it real, keeping it hot, and keeping it raw. Your normal 9 to 5 guy, bringing some high quality content for you guys to enjoy. I'll see you guys on the next video. Deuces.